Welcome to She Rebel Radio, the podcast for high-performing women leaders who want to unlearn conventional rules, leave prestigious careers, and launch businesses of significance. Each week, She Rebel Radio brings you insights and advice from women entrepreneurs who transformed their prestige prisons into daring entrepreneurial success stories. Now, here is your host, Lulu Nins.
Welcome to episode 56 of She Rebel Radio, half-assed and full-hearted. Ladies, it is She Rebel Friday and an honour to be back with you on She Rebel Radio to kick off this brand new month of September, where we've got a real kind of fresh new beginnings vibe. It always feels like a new year to me. March actually feels like a new year to me more than January tends to, and also September. And as we all know what happened in March in terms of a worldwide pandemic, I think many of us felt like we couldn't get the momentum, the flow, the alignment, and all of the stuff that really makes what it is that you're trying to create in the world, your business of significance, much more free-flowing, much more energized. And, we all had to take a step back, whether we liked it or not. And I shared with you, over our She Rebel Radio summer series, how to emerge from lockdown in your power in only the way that you can do. And we're really going to build on that in September. And I'm really excited to share with you Half-Assed and Full-Hearted. The title has been in my heart for a couple of months, actually. And now it feels like the real perfect time to share this concept with you of half-assed and full-hearted. And that's after I've had a real month of August being half-assed and full-hearted. And it is a real intention of mine to continue the half-assed, full-hearted intention for the next 6 months, which has become so clear to me as to what it is that I need to be doing, how I can find that alignment, that flow, and things to happen more easily. Now, excitingly, so stay tuned for this episode. It's going to be a good one, and stay tuned for She Rebel Radio for the whole of September, because it is our birthday month on the 26th of September. That is the date that we launched last year. We are aiming and going for gold in this month of 5,000 downloads, getting to 5,000 downloads. I think we're on 4,300 so far. And I was really, happy to see that despite taking August off She Rebel Radio, which I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute, we were still being downloaded every single day in all different places over the world. So thank you for being a part of She Rebel Radio, being part of the She Rebellion, and women doing things differently and women being consciously aware and creating change in the world, because I'm all about that. So we are going to have to celebrate the half-assed and full-hearted women, which I'm going to share that concept with you deeper in this episode. We're going to have some real heart-based episodes for you throughout September to really support you leading from that place and becoming a bit more half-assed about the other stuff. So during this episode, I'm going to share with you what is half-assed and full-hearted. I know you're going to love the title already, but why you need to do it and how you're going to do it. So as I said, August was a real full-hearted and half-assed month for me. It was full-hearted because I moved to Cornwall, which is somewhere so close to my heart. I've been coming here since I was 13 years old for 25 years, pretty much every single summer at some point, or springtime or something like that, bar maybe 1 or 2 years. I think as a family, extended family, etc., we went to Norfolk once or twice, and we just don't love it. Sorry, anyone in Norfolk. We just don't love it like we love Cornwall. So Cornwall's been massively close to my heart. I, was really wanting to be exploring more of South America this year and Southeast Asia and places like that, whilst taking my business and She Rebel Radio with me. As we know what happened in March, that was not the best year to make that decision, but I really allowed the space, the alignment and the flow, and, felt into where it was that my heart was calling me to go to, and that was Cornwall. So I'm living in an amazing house with amazing beach views, with incredible people around me, and I've moved the puddy cats as well. So happy days. But I really needed to create that space for that heart-based move in August. So I decided to take time off She Rebel Radio. As you know, I decided that I was going to give myself permission and self-authorize myself to not need to sell any coaching programs or self-study or retreats or anything like that. And I really checked into what I felt half-assed about that wasn't at the top of my to-do list, which I wasn't feeling passionate about this month as something I needed to focus on, compared to what it was that I was feeling really full-hearted about. And the main two things that I felt really full-hearted about was moving to Cornwall, as I've said, and also hosting the Space and Significance retreat in Devon, which was also supposed to take place in March, and funnily enough couldn't take place, but was taking place in August. We had an incredible group of women come and join me and Gems from Gem Yoga. We were co-hosting that retreat, and I really wanted to show up to that totally full-heartedly, because retreats, and that has become even more a greater insight to me this past month as to how much I've been doing retreats since 2017 for women, how much I love doing retreats, how much it's a central part of my business, my brand, and my zone of genius. So you are going to see more of that full-hearted, me leading from a full-hearted space. I always practice what I preach, and I'm always I don't think pushing's the right word, but always creating the space for me to lead from that even deeper. So the fact that I let go of some things and that I was feeling half-assed about, She Rebel Radio, which I'm full-hearted about all the time, I just didn't feel full-hearted about it in August. I was like, I need to create the space, and I had to have the internal dialogue and argument with myself as to why I shouldn't take a step back from She Rebel Radio and all of that. But I trusted. I went into that full-hearted space. And you know what, as I said, when I heard feedback from ladies at the retreat, from clients that I'm working with or have worked with, and so many of you are actually really grateful for having time to catch up on those episodes that you might have missed, episodes that you wanted to listen back to. And as I said, I can see on the She Rebel Radio stats that we were still being downloaded every single day. So thank you so much for remaining loyal to the show. If you are new to the show, then thank you for being here, and please do check out those other episodes as well. So that is what I did to really step into a deeper place of half-assed and full-hearted. And as I've put here, what that is and how you do that is, the half-assed part is halving your list. So getting your list together, and I'm going to share more about that as we close this episode, is looking at that to-do list and the things that you've set yourself, goals, intentions, things that you've got to do, and really checking in with what it is that you're half-assed about on the one hand, and what it is that you're full-hearted about on the other hand, and ditching the stuff that you feel half-assed about, and giving yourself permission and self-authority to do that and say, that's not my focus right now. And that's okay. And I'm going to do that next month or next year. Or do you know what? I'm so half-assed about it, it's going to disappear completely. And the reason that this is so important is that we are stepping into a new beginning, a new paradigm. It's been bubbling away for a long time. And there is this real shift of ditching the society that is so, and we see a lot of, power systems, societal structures being ripped down at the moment, that we live in a society that values accomplishment and achievement. And you are conditioned to also value that accomplishment and achievement far beyond how it is that you're being and what it is that you're feeling and what it is that you're feeling full-hearted about. And trust me when I say this, if you stay in that place, you are not going to serve you, and you are not going to serve anyone else that you're wanting to serve and help. If you stay in this desperate need of potentially validating yourself by your accomplishments and your achievements, we're living in a society and a consciousness that is shifting massively. And, to do that, you need to become more half-assed and more full-hearted. You need to lead with that compassion and your heart space and your inner visionary, which many of us have a wounded part of our inner visionary. That's probably a whole different conversation, and I'm not going to dive into that. But the reason why you need to do this is when you ditch the stuff that you're half-assed about, whether that's just putting it off, till the next month, or ditching it completely, or 6 months, you create the space for the things that you're really full-hearted about. You create more alignment, more flow, and things start to happen much more quickly. That wasn't very good English, sorry. Things happen much quicker. And, things happen when you're not even, trying to make them happen. How amazing is that? And I think it's Michael Beckworth who said, we cannot have what we cannot be. I'm going to say that again. We cannot have what we cannot be, which means that the half-assed stuff, when that goes and you step into more of the full-hearted stuff and give that more of your focus, you step into being more of what it is that you want to be. Therefore, you create more of the stuff that you want to have. It doesn't always need to be through the doing and the accomplishment and the achievement. Now, let me get this clear. You do have to do stuff, and there is stuff to accomplish and achieve. But the balance, the out of balance and out of whackness of that is that is generally the focus. The amount of people that I have coached and when they've gone through their goal setting with me, which I hate that term, it's far more about intentions, that what they have is a to-do list. They have a to-do list. There's nothing heart-based about it, and that is why they're struggling to make any of that happen, because if it's not heart-based, it is very difficult to bring into that fruition. And when I was here in my first week of Cornwall, it might have been just over a week actually, it was last weekend, I think, the bank holiday weekend, I just went for a walk. And I wasn't that clear, actually, in some respects of what was going to be happening over the next 6 months. I really had to, again, have that inner dialogue with myself that, when you get to Cornwall, you're creating this space. It's all going to become clear. This is the stuff you teach. This. But, I had to go there with my inner crazy town who was going, do all the arsey stuff. Get it all done. And I was just going for this wander, and I found a little shortcut down to the beach, and it's bank holiday, right? So there's loads of people around, and I'm trying to just find a little bit of more space for myself. And I saw this beautiful, incredible house right near where I'm living, which is incredibly perfect for the retreats that are going to be coming in 2021. And how excited was I? How excited was I ever since I've seen that, and the vision was there, and the to-do list comes behind that, and that's when you lead with the full-hearted and you ditched the stuff that you're half-assed about. Okay, so I hope that illustrates the point for you as to why that's so important. So what I would love you to do for this episode is to grab a piece of paper, whatever feels good to you, draw a line down the middle. If you've got a journal, you can use one page for one bit and the other page for the other bit. And on the left-hand side is write half-assed, and on the right-hand side, write full-hearted, and then get your to-do list down in those two parts. You might want to write the list all together at first, and then split them up. But and you can do that for this month, you can do it for this week, you can do it for the next 6 months, and have a real honest conversation with yourself as to what it is that you really are half-assed about on the left-hand side, and what it is that you're really full-hearted about, and lead from that space. I promise things will change and things will start to align and flow for you far more easily, instead of you leading with this constant need to achieve, accomplish, and do stuff that you're not fully hearted about. Okay? This is what the new paradigm, the new beginning is all about. So give yourself permission. It is scary. As I said, I've had to have that dialogue with myself. I have to take myself deeper with it. So, I really wanted to create this concept for you to fully understand how you can cut out the stuff that really isn't serving you and lead with the stuff that really is. As I said, stay tuned for the incredible episodes that we have coming up in September, which is really around the theme of leading from this heart-based space. Stay tuned for the next 6 months as to the incredible retreats that are coming in this area of the UK. And also stay tuned for, we have the Integrity with Your Pricing webinar, live webinar, where you can ask your questions, where we're talking about women and their worth, how your worth affects your pricing, the 3 questions you need to be asking yourself when pricing your services. This is a training I am so full-hearted about. I did it a good few months ago. It went down like a storm. I know the impact that it has. And, September is when you really need to get clear on what it is that you're getting out into the world, what it is that you're selling, etc., and what it is that you're full-hearted about. And then you need to really get an integrity with your pricing to make what you need to happen in terms of your sales and stuff happen from there. So we are doing that on the 16th of September at 5:30 p.m. UK time. You can find the link to sign up at lulumins.com/pricing. I love, as you know, I'm so full-hearted about being with an incredible group of women live, online and in person, at retreats, etc. So I can't wait to host that training for you to ask your questions, to be supported and come together as always with an incredible group of women. Thank you so much for listening to She Rebel Radio. Have an amazing rest of the day and I will speak to you very soon.
Thanks for listening to She Rebel Radio, the podcast for high-performing women leaders who want to unlearn conventional rules, leave prestigious careers and launch businesses of significance. She Rebel Radio is executive produced and hosted by women's advocate and coach Lulu Mins. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode. You can find Lulu Mins on Facebook and LinkedIn at Lulu Mins and on Instagram at LuluMins_biz. Until next week, keep rebelling against the rules and designing success your way.